Matthew.
Matthew, but you are now. Good morning, live stream.
Yeah, it's on.
Good morning.
It's time.
It is time.
Let's go, let's go.
Nobody cares. Hey, if you guys want to make the rest of your meetings today, take a seat, please. I kid. Good morning, everybody. All right.
Hey guys, let's gather.
Thank you.
Gosh.
Wow, this is really embarrassing that Frank Sinclair is going to make everybody get to their tables. Look at Frank with the dad voice in the room.
There you go.
It's because I'm not a parent. No, I'm not. Joe Locke, can you hear me in the back? All right, guys, take your seats. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, Colorado Springs. How is everyone this morning?
Good.
Woo! Everybody's good. Did anybody order breakfast yet? I know Kenneth's trying to find breakfast. So if you need breakfast, actually pop your head right over by the kitchen and let them know, and they'll take your order. We don't have a server this morning, so please be kind to the wait staff and to the people that did show up for work today, right? Yes, let's give them a round of applause. It's a big deal right now, right? All right, so my name is Brandy Nunes. I am an organizer with 1 Million Cups. Just to guys, okay, we good? Awesome, there we go. I know, right? This is why I couldn't be a teacher, man. My patience is like this, right? No, so my name is Brandy Nunes. My husband and I own an agency. We specialize in alternative options for healthcare. We work with small businesses and entrepreneurs in the community. And that's something that's really nice to say on the stage because we weren't able to do that before. So thank you, Becky Fuller, for allowing us to have the opportunity each week to tell everybody what we do, right? So 1 Million Cups. Who's a first timer who's never been here before? All right, we got 1, 2. Did your wife drag you here too? Okay, cool, let's check. So for those of you that are brand new in the room, 1 Million Cups actually gathers all across the United States every single Wednesday at 9 a.m. to share a delicious cup of coffee and let entrepreneurs share their journey with you, right? We have 167 chapters across the United States. How cool is it to be able to come together every single week in a room full of other entrepreneurs and talk about things that can help you grow your business, right? Like no questions asked, no obligations, no liabilities, just sharing great information and great relationships. That's why we're here, right? So we're gonna hear from 2 speakers today, but before we get started, I do wanna thank the people that make this this whole thing happen every single week, right? So the delicious coffee that you're drinking is from Barista Coffee. They're located over in Colorado. They've been serving Colorado Springs for, I think, 27 years, which is really awesome. Local, fair trade, organic, estate grown. If you want good coffee, check them out. We obviously have a coffee roaster and they're a coffee sponsor. So our coffee roaster is Barista. Apologize, I switched the two. Our coffee sponsor is Kenneth. Kenneth, come on up real quick. Are you sure you want to get up here? You may come to you. He's moving slow this morning. He is our coffee sponsor, and he makes all this coffee appear every single week.
Hi, I'm Ken Reyes. I'm Pinnacle Elite. I'm a full-service financial professional. I teach the 95%, let the remaining 5% pay thousands of dollars to learn. This is September. It is Life Insurance Awareness Month. And other than Danielle, who here can raise their hand if they can identify all 6 types of life insurance? And to let you know, GoFundMe is not one of them. If you sit there and go on GoFundMe right now in Colorado Springs, as of last week, there were 217 active. Please help me bury my loved one. Don't become the 218th.
There you go. Let's see. Hang on, Daniel's checking batteries before we have an interruption, which happens a lot. We should be good. Okay, we should be good. All right, cool. So yes, it's loved one insurance, guys. Don't be a jerk and leave your loved ones with a big bill. It really is. So we're gonna go ahead and welcome our first presenter, Mandy Penn. Yes. So Mandy Penn of Penn Photography. She's absolutely amazing. This girl's got a great story, and if you have not seen her work, phenomenal, right? So welcome Mandy to the stage, everyone. Big round of applause. And she'll have 6 minutes to share her journey.
Thank you, Brandy. Hello, everyone. So I actually never thought I would be a photographer in my life. I always wanted to be a teacher. I thought that's where my heart was. I went to school and found out that was not where it was. So my husband and I got married 13 years ago. And so we met in Joplin, Missouri. I was going to a nice Christian college there, and I met him at Red Lobster. He was a Catholic boy, and the rest is history. But basically, what started me in photography goes way back to when I was 22. I went to the club with my friends, and they were doing this win a free photo shoot, and I am very, I basically was wearing something like this to the bar, and everyone else was wearing their skimpy little clothes, and they signed me up for this runway walk. So I was like, okay, great. So I walked up, I blew the judges a kiss, and I walked off. That's all I did. Well, everyone else was doing their thing, okay? And so I won this competition, and I was like, okay, that's weird, but I'm pretty sure it was because they felt bad for me. So, so anyway, I won this competition, and the photographer was a great photographer, or so I thought. And I was always interested when I was modeling. I modeled for a while. I was always interested in why they were placing me at different spots, why the light was over here, why the light was above me, and all this stuff. And everyone thought it was super weird that as a model, I thought that that's what you needed to know, because you needed to know how to pose based on where the lighting was. But this photographer, I got a lot of feedback that my pictures were beautiful, but it was basically because he tried to get me to take as many clothes off as I could, but I wouldn't, because that's not who I am. So I've been on the other side of the camera in numerous situations, and I've noticed that when I model, the photos that I liked the most were the people on the other side of the camera that I liked the most. So I did a shoot right after that one that was completely different, and it was very grungy, very creepy, and I loved that one. And I got lots of comments like, why would you do that? That's so weird. And I was like, well, I enjoyed it, and it touched me because I could feel the emotion through my photos. And that's what I love as a photographer, is creating that emotion. So I did modeling, I did some runway in California, yeah, right, Kansas City, and then we actually moved back here, and we hadn't had kids yet, and I went to a modeling agency up in Denver, and they looked at me, gave me one look, and said, and just so you know, I was about 20 pounds lighter than I am right now, and they looked at me and they said, so do you always carry your weight in your stomach? And I was like, wow, okay, and I just chopped my hair off, because I do look like every other girl. I'm very neutral looking. I'm pretty, but I'm not like, there's nothing about me that stands out. At least they thought. And so they were like, so if you could grow your hair back out, because you kind of look like a soccer mom. And they gave me all these feedback, and I was like, okay. So I got in the car, cried to Caleb, and I was like, okay, let's have some babies. Because obviously my body's messed up anyway. So, I mean, which is actually what happened, right? So we started to try to have kids. We had a miscarriage, and then almost exactly a year later, we had I got pregnant with twins. So we have twin 8-year-olds, a boy and a girl. So we decided, also if you ask him, the pregnancy was horrible for everyone involved. So I decided I vowed never to do that again. I also had a lot of health issues. So we decided to have kids. So these little babies came 10 weeks early. They were in the NICU for 51 days. And I noticed that every day they changed so much. And all I did was I sat in that hospital and I wrote and I took pictures with my phone, and I could not get enough pictures. Even though these little babies that you couldn't touch but once a day, just weren't moving. I just couldn't get enough pictures. And so they started to grow up. We moved to New York for Caleb's job, and I was at home because it costs less to keep your kids home and not work than send twins to daycare. So I didn't work for a while, and I did an MLM. I did pretty good, but it wasn't my why. I didn't have a why. I thought I did, but I didn't. And so the kids, we moved back here about 4 years ago, and Caleb had got me a camera, and I started to dabble in that, and then I realized that there are so many photographers. How am I going to make it in this plethora of photographers every corner you turn? And I realized that if I wanted to make it as a photographer, I had to be myself and I had to create a brand. And so my brand is me, and I offer myself as well as beautiful art for your walls. So.
So we'll open it up for Q&A.
Danielle.
So I think you said something very profound. You thought you knew what your why was, and then it changed. So walk us through that process. So what, if you're willing to share, what was your why, and then what kind of became your why if you're willing to share?
Yeah.
And what was that process?
Yeah, so when I was doing an MLM, I did Jamberry nails. They're for the guys and people that don't know, they're like the stick-on nails that you heat up, whatever. So I did really well because I used to bite my nails, and they helped me not bite my nails, which was my why. But that can only last so long, and it wasn't really in my heart, my why. My why was, I need to make some extra money, because we live in New York and it's really expensive. And then once I realized that wasn't where my heart was, that's when I kind of took a step back and I was like, maybe I need to go back to restaurants, maybe I need to go back to this. And then once I picked that camera up, it was like, oh, this is what you needed to do. And it came so easy. I've only been in business for 3.5 years, and I have come leaps and bounds past photographers that have been in business for 10 or 20 years because I constantly learn, and I really just truly love what I do. And I'm not a let's meet at the park, I'll take your pictures, here's all your pictures, enjoy your day kind of person. I'm a very step 1 to step 10 and everything in between. So I walk you through what you should wear, what you shouldn't wear, where we should go based on where you want to go, not based on my portfolio. I don't need pictures for a portfolio. My portfolio is fantastic. So, but as far as my why is I get a lot of excitement out of photography, and when I'm not fulfilling that passion, I'm sad. I really am. I go back into being a little bit depressed, and everyone can relate to that in some way, and so that is my why. So. I'm sorry, I don't know your name.
Yeah, that's okay. I am intrigued by your journey of insecurity yourself, and frequently I think particularly for women and mothers, when family pictures are taken, it's the mom that looks awkward and out of place.
Yes. That is so funny.
Yeah. What is your process of, bringing out that person's comfort level, but also their personality and just security in becoming as you are in their things?
Yeah, so the question was, for those who didn't hear, was as a mom, we tend to be very self-conscious in front of the camera, and moms are normally the ones that look very awkward in pictures. I'm not gonna lie, it's so true. But it's because, and so I'll address that and explain to you what I do. I noticed that too, actually. In the first year, I was a turn and burn. I was like, let's get them in, let's get them out, let me put a preset on everything, let me send you all the pictures, let me get you everything. And then I noticed that the clients that I spent more time with that wanted that interaction got better pictures. And I realized that talking with moms, I am really tall and skinny, but there are things about each and every one of us as ladies and as moms that we are self-conscious about. And I cannot tell you what Brandy's self-conscious about or what Danielle's self-conscious about, but I can ask prior to the session. So I don't do let's show up to Palmer Park at 5 o'clock, I'll take your pictures, I'll send them to you. I do a consultation ahead of time, and I actually go through your insecurities. But I am willing to tell you my insecurities as well. I'm also willing to tell you that I've worked with people who cannot remember what it is, but it's whenever they look at their self in the mirror, they see something that everyone else doesn't see. And I worked with a lady who did that, and she loved, what is it? Body dysmorphia, yes. And she told me that ahead of time, and because I knew that, I could cater to that. My number one tip for styling parents is, moms, pick your outfit first, and then pick everyone else, because guys, you're gonna look good in whatever. You also don't care. And the kids, you're gonna think they look cute in trash bags. So really, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? As a mom, you need to be conscious about what your trouble areas you think you have. My trouble areas that I think I have, Caleb thinks are amazing, but I do not. So I like to take it to that extra step and ask, what is it that you're self-conscious about? What can I help you with? Like, okay, if you're self-conscious about your arms, I will make sure to pose you in ways that help that, or maybe we get a flowy sleeved top for you. And so I like to go through everything. It's definitely not for everyone, and I've come to realize that I'm okay with that. So, thank you. Frank?
Yes, I think I heard you say you came from Missouri, made a detour to New York, and that was definitely a detour.
Definitely, yes.
And so how did Caleb and you end up in Colorado? What is it about Colorado that resonates with you in what you do? And why does Colorado create the space for the success that you've had over the last 3.5 years?
Did everyone hear that? Ish, yes, okay. So he asked what made us end in Colorado. I actually started in Colorado, and I graduated from Doherty High School. So I'm from here. Did you too?
Yeah, my kids.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I graduated in 04, and I loved it here. And so I'm not gonna lie, when Caleb got ready to propose, I said, hey, if you propose, just so you know, we'll end up in Colorado Springs. So that's what happened. So, but see, and now we're here. So, but we were in Kansas City. It was just a very toxic environment. There wasn't a lot of. It was. Once you were there, you were stuck there. And we are not those type of people. We are very. We like to be uplifting. We like to be around like-minded people. We are constantly trying to be better people. And Joplin just sucked the life out of us. And so that's why we came back, because I told him we would be back. So.
And why does this place resonate and create space?
Why does it resonate? I obviously our aesthetic in Colorado Springs is freaking phenomenal. It's beautiful. But there are those hidden gems, and so being a native is really nice, because I know all these places that not everyone, everyone knows Garden of the Gods, everyone knows Palmer Park, everyone knows, Monument Valley Park, but there are these hidden gems that I tell people about. Lots of people still want Garden of the Gods, and that's totally okay, because I know how to shoot there, and I know, the places to go. But I just find that Colorado Springs has this, look around, look at all these people that are willing to love on you and to refer you, and I think that networking is so amazing here, and I never found that anywhere else. I felt like in New York, New Yorkers, I love New York for different reasons, but New Yorkers are not, they're guarded, and I think that here we're open and we're honest, and I love that about Colorado Springs.
Competition. With competition, when you came to the realization, you started the business, you're going along, then you come to the realization, oh my goodness, there's a million other ones. What did you do to say, you know what, I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna be the best?
I have my husband to thank for that, because he is a real estate agent, so he has the same thing, and he continually tells me, Mandy, there are so many real estate agents out there, but I'm doing what I'm doing, and so you need to do what you're doing, and you need to do what you are. You need to show people your heart. You need to brand yourself. And I'm very good at branding myself. I'm a huge Friends fan. I had a post go viral last year of 6 newborns on a couch that I had made by Danielle Shunk, and it was so fun. But that was me, and it went viral because that was me. It wasn't anything else anyone else did. And so I feel like if you can just set yourself apart from everyone else, truthfully, you pick up your camera and you could say you're a photographer today, and people will hire you. And so it's just one of those things that I'm trying to get out and say, yes, I'm not $200 for a session, but I'm worth it. And so I think that as a photographer and as someone who has lots of people in their business, which everyone does, I feel like once you become something, you find a million other ones. You know what I mean? And so I guess it's just setting myself apart and meeting people and showing them who I actually am. Sorry.
Did you ever have a moment of wanting to stop or thinking you were not going to keep going?
Yes. So there was a point where I transitioned from shooting all the time. I was gone all the time, and then I would just slap a preset on everything, and I made the jump from charging $300 a session to charging a lot more. And there was a point in that where I was losing people that didn't want to pay that, and it was really, really hard for me because if you know the Enneagram, I'm a 2-3, so I love people to like me, and I'm a people pleaser. So it was really hard for me to tell people, oh, well, I'm just out of your budget, and so it's come a long way. And there are days that I'm like, oh, well, I lost that person because of $100 difference, but I have to be okay with that because that just means that I was not a good fit for them, and they probably would have nickel and dimed me anyway. So it's just one of those things that is hard to accept, but I'm on the process, and I won't give up photography ever. I do competitions and everything. I love it. So. Anyone else? Oh, sorry.
What's one of your favorite moments to capture?
My favorite moments to capture are, so I do newborns, maternity, family, and seniors. And lately it's actually been seniors because I am super creative, and seniors can be really creative, but it's because it's senior season. I think that's why my head is there. But seniors have all these different things that they want. And then moms have all these different things that they want. And so you gotta cater to the mom, but you gotta give the daughter or son what they want to. And so I like to create a space where we don't have to get done in an hour. I don't limit my timing with my clients. I've done 2 sessions with a senior, and it's only 1 session fee because basically you're paying for the pictures to be printed and put in an album, and the complimentary digitals and stuff. And so seniors are really cool because they're in this stage where they're like, okay, I want to appease my parents, but I want this picture. And so it's really cool to get that for them. I have a girl who actually I'm shooting this Sunday, and she wants a lake. We live in Colorado Springs, so I've been looking for a lake, and so it's really cool because now I'm actually getting out and I'm looking for other locations that I've never seen before because I'm looking for this lake that doesn't really exist in Colorado Springs that she wants this perfect picturesque. But I love it because seniors are they're at that age where they want their parents there, but they don't want their parents there. And so I tend to be a really good buffer, and I make fun of myself a lot in front of seniors, and so it's just fun to see them come out of their shell because they're getting ready to go to college and make this big leap. And so that's my favorite. Or when a newborn smiles at me. So, but we know it's all gas, so it's fine.
So first of all, your work is phenomenal, and this lady has been featured in so many different places. It is amazing. On top of going viral, so have to brag on you a little bit. But what is your creative process like? How do you spark creativity? How do you come up with these crazy photo shoot ideas? What does that look like for you?
I have no idea. I have to be completely honest. I don't know. So I enter a competition every year. It's called IPC. It's and it's image photo competition, obviously, through PPA. And so I enter, and that's where my creativity comes out. And I don't actually know where it comes. I will lay in bed at night, and Caleb can attest. I'll grab my phone just randomly, and I'll write down some stuff because I have this brain that just I'm creative. You could give me an idea. I'm doing her baby pictures, so we haven't had a consultation, but she'll give me an idea, and I will come back with all these ideas just out of this. And I can't tell you where that comes from. That's just, but it was like that when I modeled too. I was always like, hey, can we do this? Some of my modeling pictures, there was one where I was wrapped in duct tape, and my hair was all cool, and getting the duct tape off was really sucky, but it was super cool, and I loved it because it was very out of the box. And so I like to go above and beyond, but sometimes you can go too crazy. So because then money and all the money, and Caleb's back there shaking his head because he knows how much the Friends shoot cost me. So I hate to say it, but I have no idea. That's just how I was.
Just being you.
Yeah, just being me. And I didn't realize that it was a good thing, actually, until someone was like, wow, you're super creative. And I was like, isn't everyone this creative? And they're like, no. So I'm trying to embrace that. So.
How are you continuing to get families to come back to you?
How am I continuing to come?
To get families to come back to you. Thus far, you got pictures this year. They now have them call you back or whatever it is. Keep them reoccurring.
That's a great question. So I'm in the process of transferring all my stuff from 4 different systems to one. And so I do an email marketing. I also do I see a lot of people a lot, and I also reach out to those people. I don't do hundreds of shoots a year now. I do like 30 to 40, maybe a few more. And so I'm able to reach out and ask them if they want to. Also, I think people think about me a little bit more because I create that experience for them and they enjoyed it. If you don't enjoy your pictures, you're gonna look at that picture on your wall or on social media, whatever, and you're gonna say, oh, Caleb and I got in a big fight that day, and the photographer was a really big jerk, and the kids wouldn't behave, and blah blah blah. But if you have a photographer that knows what's going on and eases your fears, I noticed that like when you can get the mom and the dad to like you. I'm easy to like for kids because I'm super silly and I let them play with my camera. So like they love me already, but if I can get the parents to like me, they tend to come back. So I'm now seeing return clients that will pay that price, pay my price. So, and then there was, what?
So you were speaking about you liked the creepy and all that. So how is that playing into what you want to do with what it is you are doing?
So as far as newborns go, you can't really go creepy. But as far as you can, you just get, but as far as I do more stuff like that when I do my image competitions. I did one last year that was called Can You Keep a Secret? And it was of a little girl. And I had pulled down her sleeves, and I shot from here up, and she had a tear in her eye. And it was meant to be about sex trafficking, and it merited, and it got like all this stuff, and that is all my images that I create for image competition are all very meaningful to me, and I find that they are very like dark and light. Like you have this choice of being like an amazing person or being a crappy person, and so that's kind of where that creativity comes in. I've modeled a few times in the past few months because I have friends who are photographers and they know that I model now. So I do love that, and so, but I'm not opposed to doing weird, creepy stuff, going to abandoned buildings and stuff. So.
Who's our battle for our secret special question?
Oh, I have it.
Okay.
I just thought of a super special question.
Okay.
What can we, as a Colorado Springs business community, do to help you?
I love that question. So new. I've never heard it before. So actually, to be completely honest, I would love to talk with some of you. And if you need family photos, I'm obviously here. But my biggest ask is actually if you know any OBGYNs or fertility clinics or ultrasound places, because those people I can bring lunch to and I can show them what I offer, and then I can also put my art on their walls and get clients that way too. So nice.
All right. Good job.
Okay, so she just did an underwater shoot.
I did, yeah.
And it turned out really cool. So go check out her stuff.
As a model.
Yeah, as a model. Really, really cool. Congratulations. Coveted mug.
Oh, you did great.
Thank you so much, Mandy, for having us as your audience today to share your journey. So connect with her. If you guys know someone looking for photography or a place that she can showcase her artwork, send that stuff her way, right? So this is where we normally would do our community announcements. So does anybody have a community announcements? Yes, a couple people. Same people I see all the time. You guys got to get better at this. Every single week we're going to ask you, and I need to see some new faces up here, right? All right, cool, we got some new people.
Jump ahead of me.
I love it.
Okay.
All right. Danielle, you're up.
No, I'm still trying to get my stuff.
Okay. Come on up.
Good morning. I'm Suzette with Sage's Elder Care. We provide really high quality caregiving, non-medical, in El Paso and Teller counties. We're passionate about giving the kind of care you would choose for your own loved ones. In fact, some of our staff use Sage's for their loved ones. So I wanted to share with you all that we are looking for more high quality caregivers. So it's an employment opportunity. It's very flexible. We have all the way from minimal number of hours to full time. So anyone in your life, maybe they don't have professional experience, but they've cared for their own loved one. If they just have the right heart and the right people skills, we can provide the training. So we've got employment opportunities. Thanks.
Awesome. Very nice.
Get to work, guys.
Good morning, 1 Million cups. So, Mandy Penn, she's a big part of all the things that I do, so thank you very much. So the next Nerd Night will be on October 20th. We are looking for people who want to teach the community about nerdy things. So if you've got something you'd like to teach the community, please come up to me and let me know. And the next Memoirs is October 25th in that room over there. And the theme for that one is Perspective is Everything. So if you think you have a story to tell about your perspective and how it shifted, please connect with me.
All right. Yes. Oh, come on. That was so
Alrighty, so coming up here to talk about CASA again. So Dudes and Brews is coming up Wednesday, October 6th, 6 p.m. at the Garden. Guys, we could really use some more males in CASA as advocates to work with kids in foster care and be a voice for them in court. We have a lot of teenage boys who are, being represented by, people like me, and we're moms, but we're great, but sometimes they honestly need that male perspective and appreciate that mentorship. And then also, if you're interested in becoming just a volunteer in general, please have a conversation with me. The next one, volunteer hours coming up on Tuesday, October 12th, 12 p.m. downtown right here on South Weber at the CASA office.
All right.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Kim Stewart, and I live up in Monument. And tonight is the Empty Bowls event, which is an event put on by the Monument Hill Kiwanis, and all the proceeds go to support Tri-Lakes Cares, which supports people in our community who don't have enough. They've helped so many people through the pandemic with rent relief or mortgage relief, their food pantry. They do financial education. They just do so many amazing things. So tonight at Lewis Palmer High School from 5 to 7:30 is the Empty Bowls event. And what is so cool is you get a super awesome handmade, handcrafted pottery bowl as a participant. And the idea is that there are people whose bowls are empty, but they will fill your bowl with an area restaurant soup, and then there's also a silent auction. So I know it's a long ways up there, but you don't have to pack lunch because they're going to feed you. It's $25 in advance, $30 at the door. I hope you'll join us.
Hello again. So really quick, I was asked to bring my photo booth, so I have a photo booth back there. I know it's not a community event, but it has the 1 Million Cups logo on the bottom, so if you can go take some fun pictures with the photo booth back there, please post them on social media and tag 1 Million Cups Colorado Springs.
Morning, everybody. I had a couple questions this morning on Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce events. The next one, Dylan, is tomorrow night at 5 p.m. It's at Kinship Landing. It's business after hours. There's 100 slots available, so just sign up. You can go on the Colorado Springs Chamber of Commerce events page and sign up from there. Hope to see you out.
How many in the room serve on board of directors? Boards, raise your hands. That's not very many of you. You know that there are so many nonprofit organizations in this city that need you. They need people with hearts to serve as on board of directors. If you get a hold of Leadership Pike Speak and Dr. Hillary Reed and tell them that you have an interest of giving back to your community by serving on a board, it would be so amazing. It really would. Get on board. Thank you.
Leadership Pike Peak is amazing. I did the WCLI course earlier this year. I think Danielle's doing it next year. It's an amazing opportunity to just get more community involved. So highly check them out. They've got some really good programs. And if you want to go serve on board, go serve on board. So I want to thank our normal video sponsor, which would be Andrew Hasley of Behemoth Visuals and Wisdom Stacker. They're both great. They have volunteered a lot of times with our organization. This week, Flip Aguilera is filling in. So hi, live stream.
Yeah, I see you.
And then before I forget, make sure you guys go on the app and check in. Find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. If you actually download the 1 Million Cups app and check in, it will show you everybody else that's in the room. And that way, when you know, hey, I want to go talk to that person, you don't have to be all weird and creepy. You kind of already know who they are. Or you could be weird and creepy because you already know who they are. Right? So Anyway, make sure you guys check on the app, connect with each other. It's all about community connection, right? All right, so we'll have our second presenter come up now. Jamie Kimes, where are you? Welcome to the stage. Give a round of applause. I know she's a little nervous, but she totally got this. Jamie runs page 231. 231. Are you excited? You can sit. She's going to be a mess. Give her a big round of applause.
So I was really nervous, and what's your name, the Toastmaster guy?
Robert.
Robert. Yeah, and Robert said just speak from your heart. And I did prepare something that I kind of want to read, and it is still from my heart, but it makes me feel safe. So staying safe is, feeling comfortable is something that I've learned from nature. Also on your tables, you should see something, there's like a green pattern on it, and I'm also a little bit of a nerd. Everything that I'm going to read follows that sequence. It's called the Fibonacci sequence in nature. It's a certain pattern of numbers, and so my syllables match that. So to stay calm and look down, but I'm still very connected to all of you. Hi, hello, I'm Jamie. This is a story about my childhood friend, Pikes Peak. You know this mountain, our mountain. It's yours and mine. This is my home, this city, Colorado Springs. I was born here in '83. Born as one of 12 children, 5 boys and 7 girls. And let me answer your next 7 questions before you ask them. This is what everyone always asks. No halves, no steps, not Mormon, not Catholic. 24 years between the oldest and youngest. I'm number 7 in line. And yes, my parents needed a TV.
That was awesome.
We never had a TV. Seriously, I didn't know who the Beatles were until about 5 or 6 years ago. No TV, but we did have a window. Like my feet don't quite reach there. It was a big picture window in the living room with a couch under it. This window was special because it had a perfect view of Pikes Peak. It framed that mountain like it was planned that way. And that window pretty much became our TV, and Pikes Peak was the backdrop for the show of our lives. I was raised in what could be called a homegrown cult, and decades of my life happened behind that window in Pikes Peak's shadow. My brothers and sisters and I would cram onto the couch and stare out the window for hours. You'd be shocked at how many kids can fit on a couch. Anyway, we would watch thunderstorms come in over the mountain in the afternoons. Then we'd watch high school kids play soccer at the park across the street. And in the evening, we'd watch the orange sunsets over the mountain. And in the morning, before anyone else was awake, I'd tiptoe to the window and I'd watch the sunrise turn the mountain pink and purple. I would talk to the mountain too. I'd write about it, sometimes cry to it at night. I'd cry to its silhouette while I listened to my father scream in pain, slowly dying of untreated, unmedicated cancer. The mountain was my friend. It was part of almost everything, but it was distant. My parents loved to look at the mountain, but we didn't go to the mountain. We didn't get to know it. We were almost afraid of it. It's interesting, isn't it, that we can fear something we love but don't understand or know. Life happened just like life happens to all of us. It separated me from myself, from my body, from my intelligence, from my emotions. At 15, my dad died at home after a gruesome 2-year slow death, and I became suicidal at 16. For the next several years, I experienced huge extremes. One day, finally, 6 years ago, at the age of 32, with 2 tiny toddlers in tow, I stepped into the world on my own for the first time and ran away. I left Colorado Springs and swore I would never return. We tell ourselves things like that when we're sad. In running, I met other mountains, I wore sleeveless shirts for the first time. That was fun. And lied on rocks at 13,000 feet. I walked through marshes and watched birds fly free in the blue sky, and learned I could reach great heights by taking only one step and then another step. Then, after 6 years of searching and healing and figuring out a world that was all new, I was ready. I was ready to get to know my hometown like I'd been getting to know me, to see as if I'd never seen it. I came back home, and this time it was all brand new. I didn't look at the mountain through a window anymore. I went to it. As I ran the trails at Red Rock's open space, and froze my feet in rivers and creeks at Cheyenne Canyon and Sonderman Park and Bear Creek and Garden of the Gods, and of course Pikes Peak, I realized that my journey into a true relationship with this mountain, the mountain right outside and 15 minutes down the road, mirrored my journey into relationship with me. The closer I got to it, the closer I got to Jamie. The distance turned to exploration. I wasn't the fearful, powerless, rebellious, sinful girl I thought I was. I was strong and capable and brave and curious. I saw strength in the mountain, boundaries, gentleness, struggle, surrender. To know the mountain is to know myself. I had to leave the window and find a true connection, to see, to touch, to taste, to hear, to smell. And did you know this, that Pikes Peak, my mountain, is not Pikes Peak at all? Much as I surprised myself when I saw who I really was, the mountain, our friend, our mountain, surprised me. It is, as the native youths named its summit, Mount Teva, Mountain of the Sun. Mount Teva, as best friends often do, reminded me Colorado Springs, this city, is my home.
We'll open it up for Q&A.
When you go to, I mean, I guess you're living in your house for so long, right? And then you step out and you see the world. And you said it took you 6 years to kind of find yourself. I guess, what was that process like? I mean, what stepping out the first time, what was your mindset? What were you thinking before to go find yourself? What led you up to go find yourself?
I think it started where it starts for probably a lot of us, with just survival, right? You have to figure out a way to live and make it. There were really hard parts of the process, like getting a job, learning Excel, like that, oh, you can hit equals and that goes onto another sheet.
What was that?
Learning things like that, going into a public institution of education for the first time in my life at 32, my first roller coaster, my first concert, my first, everything like that. So those things were magical because I was an adult experiencing things that most people experience as kids, and so I had an adult brain being like, wow, like that's amazing.
Jamie, wow. Yeah, can we start with that? Because how brave of you to sit up there and tell us, right? How brave to sit there and talk about the process of your life and the things that you've gone through and what brought you. It's just such a perfect illustration of what When Meeting Cups is about in the storytelling process. So we're going to shift to the business process, right? And how does all of that, and pain obviously was a lot, and you're leveraging that now. How did that pain create space for, what's the name of your business again?
Page 231.
Page 231. Tell us a little bit about page 231 and how that created space for it.
Sure. So one of the most healing things for me was to go and spend time outside in nature, and I just learned so much by watching it and having space to listen to myself kind of for the first time. So I'm becoming a certified nature and forest therapy guide. It's basically, we just go out and, I guess it's kind of a woo-woo term, but kind of hold the space for people to go out and just spend time in nature. It's based off of a Japanese practice called Shinrin-yoku, forest bathing. When the Japanese industrialized back in the 80s, they saw a big spike in cancer and autoimmune diseases. So they did a study and found that if people went and spent time outside, nature will regulate blood pressure. So if it's high, it'll bring it low. If it's low, it'll bring it up. It also it has phytoncides that come from the trees that actually proactively go inside your body and fight cancer cells, etc. So I'm going to a place that was so healing to me, and just saying I'd love to just invite other people into it. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Where did the name of the business come from?
Page 231, I love to write. And so I had gotten like 230 pages through a book kind of saying things that had gone on in my life. And it just really hit me that when I started page 231, that we can never erase the 230 pages that came before, but there's always another page that comes after. And the future and what comes next is still unwritten, and we really hold the pen.
So what is your vision for what you want to try to create? Like, where is it now, and where do you see it in 5 years?
On the business side, or
The business side.
On the business side, I want to just see people reconnect to nature, like develop that, like to find themselves in nature, and also connect to nature, because it is something too. You know, it's not just us; it's also it. Like and we only protect what we love. So I'd like people to connect to themselves, nature to be protected, and I would love to eventually see forest therapy as even a state employee benefit, because we live in such a great state where with so many wonderful natural resources, to be able to see it as a state employee benefit would be awesome. And insurance companies covering it. I don't know. Here, sorry.
So you have a really interesting story, and your vulnerability is amazing. Do you remember that moment where the tipping point, you're like, this isn't working and I'm running away? What was that?
I'm gonna cry if I say it, but it was, I had a little girl, and looking at her, she was seeing some things one day, and she was just tiny. Some of you know my little girl, and I looked at her and I said, maybe this was okay for me, but it's not okay for her. Anything that I ever become is because of her.
Also born and raised here.
Okay.
But we often joke in that little circle about, you always know when someone is not from here because they go biking, hiking, skiing. And those of us who are born and raised here, we don't do it.
That is so
any
true.
sort of division in your clientele that represents one of those two camps, either an opportunity to get natives to engage with the surroundings that they've always been around and ignored, or are you seeing more people that are from the outside coming in and wanting to engage with that environment?
And just starting out, so I don't have a big history of clientele yet. I think that's actually interesting to think about, and maybe to do events that are focused for natives. I hadn't thought about that, but I didn't ski until I was, well, I did a lot of things until I was. Yes, Robert.
So how do you get your, I mean, I know you're just getting started, but how do people how do you get your clients? Are they coming to you for referrals? Are you looking at your website now? I get that. But, I mean, you have a very cool niche, and especially right now when the world is awakening in an entirely different way. How are they coming to you? How are you being found?
That was one of actually the goals of today for me. I want to do a few more practice walks of taking people out so that I get more and more comfortable with it, and then can be more proactive about.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that'd be great.
Jamie, do you see the collaborative possibilities as you're sitting in this room this morning? The young lady that just went before you, can you think of the collaboration that can happen there? The people that are surrounded you in this room and the different things that are happening here in the space of entrepreneurship in Colorado Springs. As Robert has said, your niche creates some incredible possibilities. I know that it wasn't a question, was it? I just wanted to I just want to really
be encouraged.
Yeah, be encouraged. Absolutely.
Be encouraged.
Yeah.
Bring that to life. Yeah, there's some awesome opportunities here in the niche market that you're in. And I know people around this room are thinking about what you do and how that connects with them. So connect a lot. Okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
What kind of clientele are you looking
I feel like this is something that applies for all of us. Like if we're busy, I mean, at work, we live in a culture that we're so much in our heads. Like we live from here to here, like in front of our computers, and this gives an opportunity to kind of get back into seeing and tasting and hearing. And so I feel like it applies for everyone. I would love it if any of you have any contacts with Tessa, Save House. I would love to eventually like have a few groups of women that have been through domestic violence or something. That would really be close to my heart. But honestly, I feel like this is something that nature is kind of one of those universal languages. And even for kids, like even kids can get out there and just, and seeing parents connect with kids out is beautiful too.
Sorry.
So you said you had mentioned kids, so would this be something good for a family to do?
Yeah,
Together?
it would be.
Okay.
Yeah, in that situation, the kids kind of start leading it a little bit more, where you just open it up and kind of let the kids do some exploring and leading a little bit of it. It's not quite as contemplative, but yes.
So what's your favorite trail? Where do you go that grounds you the best that you want to take?
A little bit cliche, but it's Cheyenne Canyon right now, and I think it's because it's the one place I did go when I was a kid with my grandma. She took me there like once or twice. So I just love like taking my shoes off and getting in the river. There's so many.
I love the niche as well. I really
Yeah.
do. How do you get?
Do you remember my name though?
Yes.
It's an inside
How do you get? So in a room full of visionaries, obviously we see it. We see the idea. We love it. We're all into it. We see the benefits, right? How do you get the non-believers to pay for a service like that?
saying that it comes from Japan.
They pay quick, huh?
Jiu-jitsu comes from Japan
Yeah,
too.
jiu-jitsu. All the wonderful names. Yeah.
I'm trying to wrap my head around conceptually what you're doing. So are these walks, is there a dialogue? Is it, when you say guided, is it just guided down a trail, or is there some sort of, are there talking points or suggestions that you interject?
I describe it as a slow walk, so it's not an exercise. It's not exercise. It's not hiking. It's more of immersive, and it's basically a series of what would you call it? Almost invitations, like thought prompts. Reflections are just thought prompts where I would say, what if we look around and notice everything that's moving, and we're going to take 10 minutes, and slowly it just helps kind of get back in touch with the body. And we can never guarantee the result, but it's different for everyone. We all have it different. Nature speaks to us all however we need to hear it. Yes.
So I know that you've got some ideas brainstorming in your head. So tell us a little bit more about like some of the ideas you've had at Accent and maybe how you're going to try to implement those things to make them a reality.
Yeah, there's lots of ideas, like even hosting outside for work, meetings outside for work, kind of destination work meetings. I'd also love eventually to have kind of a mobile forest, where it's a greenhouse on wheels that you could pull up to a corporation or something and have people kind of like you could come out and get a massage. It's come out and have a 20-minute immersion with music and everything, and maybe also for disabled people or more homebound where they can't get to the mountains, to bring the mountains to them. I have like lots of ideas.
Would this be in groups, or you take people out singularly, or?
All of the above, like, yeah.
So how are you marketing all these events? Are you doing
It's honestly so new that I'm really just starting. The website is still in progress. It's not really all there yet. It's just starting. Yeah.
I was wondering how you get paid for these services. Do you pay per walk, or is it donation based?
I want it to be a pay per walk thing, or I've also thought about even a membership, like a yearly membership that would include this many walks and this many hikes, and because sometimes people don't want to do a forest therapy walk, they really want to just go on a hike to a really cool waterfall or do an overnight in Granby. So yes.
Are you a not-for-profit? Can you get grants?
I can't, it hasn't gone through yet. It's like pending. I need to do the 501c3, but I'm registered as a nonprofit. I just need to get I need to get the tax exempt status still. Yes.
For your groups.
I liked your story at Millmore's the other night, by the way.
Oh,
Yeah.
for your groups, is there a limit? Like, is there, you don't want to exceed so many? Because if you could go to Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, they badge it for what you do all day long, every day, and they'll pay for it. So they can get kind of big. So
I have in my mind like 11, like around 11 or 12. It just seems like if you make it too big, then it could compromise the quality of each individual person's experience.
Are you doing this more for therapy or more to get out and hike?
Yeah, really all of the above.
What's your main target?
I feel like there would be under the membership model. I feel like there would be like the exercise, get out and hike, and then the guided therapy. I'm not a therapist. It's like we like to say I'm the guide. The forest is the therapist. Honestly, I'm just really passionate about people reconnecting with themselves. So I'm more passionate about the therapy part than the hiking part. I love to hike, but.
We got time for one more before our special question. Anybody got one? No? Okay. Who's got our second special question today?
All right. It's my first time here, but I'm guessing that this may not throw you off. So what can we, as a community, as a Colorado Springs business community, do?
The biggest thing right now is let me take you on a walk, like sign up so I can just practice and be okay that it might be a little bit awkward here and there, like, oh, we work it out. I might like read off of this and whatever. If anyone has any contacts with Tessa Safe House, that would be awesome to have an introduction there. If you know any kind of even private land that's just really beautiful with good parking, letting me know about those kinds of things. And also just on social media, obviously, if following, sharing, and if posts are put out there, interacting with them would be awesome.
So how do we register for these walks?
Yeah, there's one that's scheduled for next week, and then if people wanted to, I was trying to think of like the most efficient way to just let me know, and I can like figure out, like put out some kind of a schedule thing to see what works best for everyone's schedules and get a few people.
Can we send you a message on your website?
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's perfect. www. Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
She's like, "Oh, I'm out of here." Let's
go hiking.
Yeah, it's so great to share your story with us. Thank you so much. How is it the people that are always the most shy and nervous are the ones that always have the biggest impact, in my opinion, right? It's like Silent Bob. He doesn't speak very much, but when he does, he's very prolific, right? So anyway, thank you guys. I know, you know who Silent Bob is. Thank you for being here. I greatly appreciate it. And thank our organizers. So I know there's a couple of alumni in the room. So alumni, raise your hand if you've been an organizer with us in the past. Thank you so much for coming back and always supporting us. And then for those that are current organizers, please wave, stand up, put your hand up. All right, thank you every week for making this happen, right? And thank you to our host space, 3 E's Comedy Club. I was asked he's not here anymore, Frank. He's not here. So, and just to let you guys know, today is my last day as an organizer. As I know. As Jamie said, sometimes it's time to turn the page, right? So you can't move on to the next book when you're rereading the last chapter, right? So it's time for me to bring this chapter to a close after a 1.5 years of being an organizer for this club. I greatly appreciate all of you for all the support you've given to me in my business and all the support you've allowed me to give back to you guys. Like, I greatly appreciate it. You know how much of an impact you've made on my life as well. So I'm not going anywhere. You'll still see me around. I'll still be here to support. I just won't be part of the process anymore. So it's been great working with all of you, though. And thank you again every week for showing up and supporting this community. So give yourselves a round of applause. Yeah. Grab some more coffee, shake a couple of hands with people you've never met.
Do the photo booth.
Oh, gosh, yes. Go get some photos in the photo booth and breakfast. We have breakfast raffle. I almost forgot about that. Has anybody redeemed their breakfast raffle?
I don't think so.
Man, you guys got to come back. So you get a breakfast raffle, and you get to come back and use it again. So there was a question in the back, and I can't remember your name. Jenny, she's sitting with you, I believe. But you asked about the moms in awkward, in photos, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, I would like it to go to her. I love that question. And it was just a nice, honest answer from Mandy. So thank you so much, guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. We'll see you around, okay?